Welcome back to part 2 of The Journey. We've been talking about journeys and that your life is one big journey, right? And we're doing a project, an art project, where it's showing us on some kind of journey, on some kind of road, some kind of mountaintop. You know, you could if you wanted to put a boat in there and instead of having a mountain, you could do the ocean with a boat. Anyway, hope you got your materials. Want to do a shout out to the Arts Council of Oklahoma City for doing these art projects for everyone at home. Let's take advantage of them. Hopefully one of these days, maybe, just maybe, by next fall, we may be back in schools. Yes. I can't wait for that to happen. So, but until then, I think it's great that you come and visit us and try to get involved with these art projects and things that we offer you. But anyway, getting back to the journey, I want you to think of, once again, that your life is a journey and that everything that happens in your life is part of that journey. It's like if you were going to write a book about yourself, you know, when you're my age, you want to write a book about yourself, you look back at your life and go, well, this happened and this happened. Well, this wasn't too great, but it happened. This was wonderful. This was like the most exciting thing I ever did. And then, of course, this happened. We are the products of everyday life. It makes us who we are. And the idea of being able to kind of realize that, even before you're old enough to really, truly, completely understand it, you guys may. I'm sure you guys understand it. But I think it's very important that we think about our lives as something, not that just we get up in the morning and then we go to bed at night and that kind of stuff, is that a good journey is also a great adventure. So, with that, let's start this up. Are we ready to finish this up? I know I am, and I bet you are too. Anyway, so let's begin. All right, I'm back, and I hope you are too. Okay, the journey. Do you know that artists have been creating paintings forever, for hundreds and hundreds of years, about journeys and places they have gone? Even like old paintings of landscapes, you know, like mountains and, you know, valleys and stuff like that. Those artists actually traveled to those places, set up their easels, and drew and painted from what they saw there. It's called plein air painting. When you're out in the woods or out in the wild and you paint outside, it's called a specific thing. It's called plein air. It's French for out of the air. So it's a tradition of art, landscape art and stuff, has been around really for as long as people have been painting, you know, on, you know, wood planks and canvases. And I think that's kind of cool that they ventured to these places. Now, a little later on, they would venture to these places and take photographs and then take them home and work in the studio and paint from photographs. But for the longest of time, they took their canvases and their paints and their brushes and stuff, and they actually went out in their journey. They had an adventure out into the wild, trying to find these beautiful moments and these beautiful paintings, you know. And so I loved it. I did that for a little while. I thought I was going to be a landscape painter a long time ago, and I used to go out. But I decided that I like to paint in the studio and not out where there's chiggers and mosquitoes. But that's just me, okay? So, I've got me in this new one. I've got the sun, I've got a castle, I've got this thing going on. So this is really kind of a simple project here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to color in. You got these three: the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. And I'm going to do this this middle ground in a green, right? And again, you can use crayons or, whatever you have, oil pastels. You guys may have some oil pastels. I know I've got some at home. Put a little color on it. Makes it more real looking, if it's not just in black and white. There we go. For those of you who know me, meaning that you've had my classes before, or maybe you've just had classes here online, but I've said this for many, many years. I've talked to you about what I call my crazy grandma. I had this wonderful grandma that always was saying stuff to her grandkids. She had a lot of grandkids and great-grandkids. And at the time when you're little, you're just kind of going, what is Grandma talking about? She was always talking about stuff and, tried to teach us some things. And she used to say this old saying. This is an old saying. I don't hear it anymore. But it's the difference between taking the high road or taking the low road. I grew up hearing this old saying. In your life, when you come to some kind of situation where you have to make a decision on what to do, my grandmother used to say, always take the high road, which meant always try to do the right thing. When you take the low road sometimes, what? You get in trouble, you get into a fight, that kind of a thing. At the time, I kind of knew what my grandma was talking about, but really it was like only when I got a little older I went, my grandmother was so wise. It is true. If you take the high road, you always seem to kind of come out doing okay, or that's been my experience. And when I had my daughter, I changed it a little bit. I said, if you're ever in a situation where you have to make a decision, always take the high road or the highest road you can at the time. Because sometimes it's really hard to take the high road, especially if somebody's picking on you. It gets to a point where it's such a real drag. But I thought that my grandma hit it right on the head. If you think in terms of that your life is a journey, it's an adventure, you are going to have to make decisions on whether I should go this way or should I go this way. And it's kind of a simple way of telling my grandma's grandkids that the way you choose and what you choose makes you who you are and puts you in situations both good and bad. Anyways, it's something to think about. Okay, I'm going to make this castle up here out of gold. Something that shines. Something I've got my eye on, and I want to take my journey up to it. Right? There we go. And I think I'm going to put jeans I wear jeans almost all the time. That's not my hair right now. I haven't had a haircut in a long time. I will be getting a haircut soon. It's getting a little bit long, but because of the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, I've just kind of stayed away from people in general, especially commercial businesses like haircut places and stuff, like barbers and stuff. But for right now, this is my haircut and this artwork. How are you guys doing out there? Right? Have you gotten your goal here? Another thing too I think is really kind of interesting is that your goals change as you get older. And the reason that the goals change, right now the big goal in your life might want to go to Disney World or Disneyland, right? But 10 years from now, it might be, I sure hope I graduate this year. I hope my grades are good. Or maybe even 10 years later than that, you go, gosh, my goal is to get this job that's going to make a lot of good money for me and my family. Our priorities change. Priorities means that it's the things that are important to you at the time. Those change over time. And so, you might want a castle of candy right now because you really, really love candy. But when you're 25, 30 years old, you may not want a castle of candy because it's going to give you cavities. So things change, and your goals can change. That's okay. That's okay for the goals to change. So, let me see, what else? I've got this. My guy really looks kind of sick. That's not good. Anyway, so your journey. I think it's something to think about, and if nothing else, it's something to have fun with. When you wake up in the morning, instead of going, oh, I've got to get out of bed, and my mom's going to make me do virtual learning, and all of this stuff, you think in terms of, okay, this is my journey for today. I'm going to get up. I'm going to try to be as positive. Let's get through this homework quick so I can maybe get online and play some video games and then maybe go outside. It's a beautiful day today. I'm going to go in and climb a tree, or whatever. That's part of your journey. So anyway, I hope that you've kind of understood what I was talking about. Please finish your art projects. I won't see them, but I would love to see them one of these days. And, just be careful out there. Make sure that I know that we don't have, I think we do have to in Oklahoma City. But, when you're at Walmart and, Target, or you're outside somewhere where there's a lot of people, wear this mask because it's really, really important. Things are getting better. We're getting better, and things are going to change, and hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed that we get to a real school in the fall. Anyway, thank you for coming and listening to me babble on for 30 minutes or so. I hope you enjoyed the project. Have a good day. Bye-bye.